The alien woman finds out her human lover is alive and is touched beyond words. Lena Veris stood alone in the quiet hall of the listening tower. The stars outside the wide window were cold and distant. She had stood in this place many times before, always waiting, always hoping. The war had ended years ago, but the silence it left behind never did. The galaxy had declared humanity extinct. Lena did not believe it. She rested her hand on a small metal object hanging from her neck. It was old, scratched, and simple. Humans called it a ring. Ethan Cole had given it to her long ago during a time when the galaxy still allowed humans to walk freely among the stars. He had smiled when he gave it to her, a soft and nervous smile that humans often had when they felt deeply. "You will lose this," he had said. She never did. Lena was not human. Her species, the Varati, lived long lives and valued calm thought over emotion. They believed feelings should never rule decisions. Love, to them, was a gentle bond, not a fire. Then Lena met Ethan. Humans were different. They laughed loudly, grieved openly, and loved without restraint. Ethan was no warrior or leader. He was an engineer, quiet, kind, and endlessly curious. He fixed broken systems and listened more than he spoke. When others feared Lena for being alien, Ethan treated her as if she had always belonged. That was how love began. Not in grand moments, but in shared silence and small kindness. Then the war came. The Galactic Council had decided that humans were too unpredictable, too fast to adapt, too willing to fight when cornered. When humanity refused to accept control, the Council responded with force. Fleets moved toward Earth. Communications shattered. Stars burned. The final report had been clear. Earth neutralized. Human presence eliminated. Lena had read the words again and again, refusing to accept them. The Council expected her to move on, to forget, to return to Varity space and resume a calm, empty life. She never left the listening tower. The tower was old, built to catch faint signals drifting through space. Most species had abandoned such places. Modern sensors were faster, stronger, but Lena trusted old things. Humans trusted old things too. Every day she listened. Most days, there was nothing. On this day, something changed. A soft sound reached her console. It was not a message, not a clear signal. It was a pattern. Weak, broken, almost lost in the background noise of the universe. Lena froze. Her hands moved slowly, carefully. She adjusted the receiver, narrowing the field, filtering the static. The pattern repeated. It was short, uneven, familiar. It was human.
Her breath caught.
Varity did not breathe the way humans did, but in that moment her body reacted as if it had learned from him. "No," she whispered, though no one else was there. The galaxy had banned all human frequencies. Every known code had been erased from records. This signal should not exist, yet it did. The pattern shifted, forming a short data burst. It was damaged, missing pieces, but enough remained to read its origin. It came from beyond the border systems, from a region marked dead. Lena's mind raced. If the Council discovered this, they would destroy the source without question. They would call it a leftover echo, a machine ghost, anything but proof of life. But Lena knew better. Humans did not fade quietly. She saved the data fragment to a private core, encrypting it with old Varati methods no one used anymore. Then she sat back, her legs weak. For the first time in years, the silence felt different. Memories flooded her thoughts. Ethan sitting beside her in a repair bay, hands stained with oil, explaining human jokes that never quite translated. Ethan watching alien suns rise, his eyes wide with wonder. Ethan promising to return after a short mission, pressing his forehead to hers in a human gesture of trust. He never came back, or so the galaxy claimed. Lena stood and paced the hall, her long coat brushing the floor. Her people would say she was letting emotion guide her. They would be right. She did not care. If humans were alive, everything changed. She accessed old records, pulling restricted files she had quietly collected over the years. Reports of missing ships, supply convoys that vanished near the outer dark, pirate attacks that left survivors untouched, stories whispered among traders of silent protectors in human-made armor. The council had dismissed them all. Lena never had. The signal pulsed again, stronger this time. It was still broken, but now it carried structure, timing, intent. Someone was trying to be heard. Tears welled in her eyes. Barafi rarely cried. Their bodies were not built for it, but Lena had learned human ways, and her body followed her heart. "He is alive," she said softly. She did not know how. She did not know where. But the universe had just whispered a truth the council feared. Lena knew she could not stay. The listening tower was no longer enough. Waiting was no longer enough. If humans were hiding, they were doing so for a reason. They would not trust easily. They had been hunted, betrayed, nearly erased. And yet, they were reaching out. That meant hope was stronger than fear. Lena began preparations at once. She packed lightly, choosing tools over comfort. She shut down the tower's public systems, making it appear abandoned. Before leaving, she placed her hand on the old console one last time. "Thank you," she said. Her ship was small and unarmed, never meant for conflict. It was designed for study and travel, not war. But Lena trusted her mind more than weapons. As the ship slipped into deep space, the stars stretched into long lines of light. Lena focused on the signal's source, letting its weak pull guide her path. Far away, unknown to her, a human outpost floated in the dark. Its lights were dim, its hull scarred. Inside, a man named Ethan Cole stood before a cracked transmitter, listening to static and hoping the galaxy was not as empty as it claimed. The first part of their story had begun again, and this time the silence had finally broken. Lena's small ship moved quietly through space. The stars seemed to stretch endlessly, but she did not feel lost. The weak human signal guided her, pulsing like a heartbeat across the void. Every pulse made her heart race. Every pause made her fear she was too late. She remembered the first time she had heard a human signal years ago, before the war. Ethan's voice had come through a broken channel, soft and warm. Even the static had sounded like music to her ears. Now, after so many years, that music had returned. The journey was not simple. The regions beyond Varanti space were dangerous. Pirates roamed freely, hunting ships for parts. Rogue fleets patrolled with no loyalty to any council. Lena had to hide her ship's signature, drift through debris fields, and avoid patrols that would scan any human trace and destroy it. She worked tirelessly, monitoring every system. Her hands moved quickly over the controls, adjusting shields and engines. She had grown used to this kind of careful travel. Her species valued patience, and she had learned to wait, to plan, to calculate every move. Humans, she thought, were the opposite. They acted fast, trusted instinct, and yet somehow survived. Ethan was one of them. On the third day of travel, she intercepted another fragment of the signal. It was weak, barely a whisper, yet she recognized the patterns immediately. Human, familiar, deliberate. She decrypted it carefully. The fragment carried a name, a location, a code that indicated survival. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice shaking. "It is you." She had feared that even if humans survived, he might not. That years of hiding in danger might have taken him. But here was proof. Small, fragile, but real. The coordinates led her to a cluster of hidden outposts. They were old, abandoned stations converted by humans for survival. Each one floated alone, shielded from detection, self-sufficient. Lena's ship slowed as she approached the first outpost. The hull was scratched and patched. Panels hummed softly, powered by solar collectors and old fusion cells. She scanned for life signs, expecting nothing. To her relief, sensors indicated human activity. Several individuals moved inside. Lena docked carefully, keeping the ship's system silent. She entered the airlock, her alien body adjusting quickly to human atmosphere. Inside, the station was quiet, but alive. Holographic panels flickered with messages, maps, and logs. She moved silently through the corridors, careful not to alert anyone. Her hand brushed against a familiar mark on the wall, a human signature, written years ago. Her heart clenched. Then she heard a voice, clear, calm, and unmistakable. "Lena?" She froze. The voice was older now, roughened by time and effort, but it was him. Ethan Cole. Her eyes filled with tears. She ran forward, ignoring caution, ignoring sound. In a small room surrounded by maps and equipment, he stood. His eyes widened as he saw her. For a moment, neither spoke. Time seemed to stop. She could see the signs of struggle in him, scars along his arms, a tired stance. But his gaze was steady. It was still Ethan. "Ethan," she whispered again, stepping closer. He reached out slowly, unsure if she was real. His hand trembled slightly as it touched hers. "You're alive," she said, tears flowing freely. I thought you were gone." "I am," he said softly. "But we survived. I had to, for them, for everyone."
He gestured to the station.
Humans were not alone. Several others worked quietly, repairing systems, monitoring signals, and preparing for the day the galaxy might return. Humans had survived by hiding, adapting, and protecting each other. They had learned the hard way. Lena followed him to the central area. Holographic images showed star systems where humans had set up small colonies, secret supply routes, and hidden caches. It was not much, but it was enough. Humans were alive. Humans were strong. "They are stronger than the Council believes," Ethan said. "We are not just survivors. We are builders. Protectors. We wait and we watch, but we do not forget." Lena felt her heart swell. This was the human spirit she had fallen in love with. Not reckless, not loud, but steady, enduring, and full of hope. Ethan led her to a small room where personal items were stored. Among them, she recognized objects from her past, gifts, reminders of moments shared, pieces of a life thought lost. She picked up a small metal charm, her fingers brushing over it.
"You kept it," Ethan said, smiling softly. "I never stopped hoping you would come." They sat together in silence.
Words were not needed. The presence of each other after so many years said more than any message could. Later, Ethan introduced Lena to others, human men and women, each with a story of survival, courage, and sacrifice. They were cautious at first, not knowing if she was friend or foe. Lena explained carefully, showing her knowledge of humans, her love for Ethan, and her willingness to help. Slowly, trust formed. The humans had questions, of course. How she survived the war, why she came now, what she knew of the Council's plans. Lena answered honestly, showing the signal fragments she had collected, the paths she had traveled, and the hope she had kept alive. "You are not like the others," one human said, a young engineer named Claire. "They would have destroyed us if they knew." "How did you find us?" Lena smiled faintly. "I listened. I never stopped listening. And I never stopped believing. Night came on the outpost, though it was not like human night on Earth." The artificial lights dimmed, and a small community gathered in the central hall. Lena watched as humans shared food, stories, and laughter. She realized that even in hiding, humanity thrived. They built not for war, but for life. Ethan stood beside her. "We thought we were alone," he said softly. "We were ready to give up hope. But now," his voice trailed off. He looked at Lena, and she knew what he meant. Now hope had a face. Now hope had returned. For the first time since the war began, Lena felt something she had not felt in years. Relief, joy, and something deeper. Connection. Not just to Ethan, but to humanity itself. She saw their resilience, their kindness, and their courage. She understood why humans could survive when others would not. Ethan took her hand again. "We have work to do," he said. "Not just to survive, but to prepare. The galaxy still believes we are gone. Some will come hunting us again, but we are ready. Together." Lena nodded. She had crossed stars, risks, and years of doubt to find him. She would stay. She would help. She would fight, if needed, not for revenge, but for the life and love she had found again. They stood together watching the holographic stars beyond the station. The signal that had brought her here pulsed once more, faint but steady. The universe, for all its dangers, had not taken everything. And for Lena, that was enough. The reunion had begun. Humanity was alive. Love had returned, and the galaxy unknowingly would soon see that humans were not so easy to destroy. The next morning, the outpost was quiet, but alive. Lena woke early, her mind restless with questions and plans. She looked out through the viewport, watching distant stars glimmer in the blackness of space. Each point of light reminded her that the universe was vast, and humanity was only a small part of it. Yet, despite its size, humans had survived, and now she was among them. Ethan moved beside her. Silent at first, his presence was steady, comforting. Lena had never known a human could hold such quiet strength. "We have work," he said softly. "The Council still believes we are gone. Some will come looking soon." Lena nodded. She understood the dangers, but fear did not control her. Humans had survived worse. She had traveled across hostile space to find him. If the galaxy sent fleets, she would face them. She would fight not with weapons, but with knowledge, with strategy, with courage. Ethan led her to the command center. Holographic maps of nearby star systems and hidden outposts filled the room. Humans moved quietly, checking equipment, scanning signals, and maintaining life support. Lena watched, fascinated. Even in hiding, humans were organized, careful, and brave. They had learned to survive not by avoiding the universe, but by understanding it. One of the humans approached, a young man with dark hair named Cole, like Ethan's family name, smiled nervously. "You're Lena?" he asked. "Ethan said you would come. It's good to see someone from outside." "We thought we were alone." "Yes," Lena said, her voice steady. "I am Lena. I came because he is alive. And because humans deserve hope." Cole nodded. "You are right. Some of us forgot what hope feels like. Years of hiding it wears on a person." Lena thought of the years she had spent listening for signals, believing, hoping. She had been alone in her grief, but she had not forgotten. Humans had taught her that survival was not only about the body. It was about spirit, courage, and trust. Ethan joined them. "Lena will help us," he said. "She knows the galaxy, its rules, and its weaknesses. We can use that. Humans cannot fight like fleets or weapons, but we can survive and adapt. Lena will guide us." Lena looked at him. Her chest tightened. He trusted her. He believed in her. For an alien like her, that trust was rare. For Lena, it was everything. The day passed with planning and discussion. Lena learned about the hidden colonies humans had built. Each was small, self-sufficient, and shielded from detection. They shared resources carefully, traveling through secret routes to avoid Council patrols. Every human had a story of survival, loss, and courage. Lena listened, remembering her own journey, the risks she had taken, and the hope that had never left her. In the late afternoon, a young woman named Claire approached Lena. "I want to ask you something," she said. "Why did you come? You could have stayed safe." "Why risk yourself for us?" Lena thought for a moment. "Humans often acted on instinct and heart, not logic alone." "Because love and hope are worth more than safety," she said. "Ethan is alive. That is proof. Humanity is alive. That is proof. I could not ignore it." Claire's eyes softened. She nodded, understanding more than words could say. Humans had a way of seeing truth in actions, not just words. Lena felt accepted in a way she had never expected. As evening came, the outpost quieted. Humans gathered for a small meal, sharing stories of the past and dreams for the future. Lena sat with Ethan, listening. He spoke softly about the challenges of survival, about hidden patrols, damaged supply lines, and the dangers still waiting beyond the stars. "We have survived," he said, "but we cannot remain hidden forever. We must be ready. The galaxy will not forgive us for existing, but we will endure. Humans always endure." Lena reached for his hand.
"And I will be with you," she said.
"No matter what comes." Night fell, and Lena stood at the viewport staring into the stars. The outpost was safe for now, but she knew danger could arrive at any moment. Yet she did not feel fear. Humans had taught her that survival was not about hiding, but about courage, trust, and strength. Suddenly a warning light flashed. A small sensor detected an approaching vessel. Lena's heart quickened. She and Ethan rushed to the command center. The screen showed a scout ship unknown and unmarked, moving toward the outpost. "Could be Council," Ethan said, his voice tense.
"Or pirates. Either way, we cannot fight them directly."
"We must be smart." Lena studied the map. The outpost had old defense systems, shields, decoy signals, and hidden escape routes. It was enough to buy time, but not to win a battle. She turned to Ethan. "We will make them believe we are not here," she said. "We will hide, and if needed, we will flee. Humans survive because they adapt. We can do that." Ethan nodded. He trusted her, and that trust gave Lena strength. She activated the shields, rerouted power, and prepared the station to vanish from sensors. It was risky, but it worked. The scout passed without detecting the outpost. "Good work," Ethan said, smiling faintly. "We're lucky." Lena shook her head. "Not luck. Preparation and understanding. Humans survive because they think ahead, adapt, and never give up. They do not rely on chance." Ethan looked at her, admiration in his eyes. "You understand us better than anyone," he said. Lena smiled. "And now I will help you protect them all." The next days were filled with activity. Lena explored the outpost, learning every system, every route, and every weakness. She trained with humans, showing them how to use old technology in new ways. Together they planned for future attacks, supply runs, and communication with other hidden colonies. Each night Lena and Ethan spent time together, not speaking much, but simply being near each other. Words were unnecessary. After years apart, they had found each other again, and that was enough. One evening as artificial night fell, Lena walked outside the station on the small observation deck. The stars stretched infinitely, and the darkness of space pressed around her. She felt small, but alive. Humans had survived in this emptiness, and now she was part of their strength. Ethan joined her quietly. "Do you think we can survive the Council if they come?" he asked. Lena looked at him. "We will survive," she said firmly. "Humans are not just survivors. They endure, they protect, and they fight with heart. We will be ready." He smiled, and for the first time in years, Lena felt a sense of peace. The galaxy was dangerous, and the future uncertain, but they were together. And together they could face anything. The signal that had brought her here continued to pulse softly, faint but steady. It was a reminder that hope was alive, that love was alive, and that humanity would not be forgotten. Lena knew their fight was just beginning. The cove showed humans were hidden, scattered, and unarmed against the fleets of the Council. But humans had something no weapon could destroy: heart, courage, and the will to endure. And Lena would be with them, guiding, protecting, and loving. As they watched the stars, Ethan whispered, "You are my proof, Lena. Proof that love can survive, and proof that hope never dies." Lena held his hand tightly. "And you are mine, Ethan. Our future begins here, together." The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but Lena no longer feared it. Humanity had survived worse. And with Ethan by her side, she knew they would survive whatever came next. The first step of their new journey was over. They had found each other. They had found hope. And now, they would prepare for the trials the universe still held. The hidden outpost had become a small hub of life. Humans moved carefully but confidently, repairing systems, planning supply runs, and keeping watch for any danger. Lena walked among them, her steps quiet but purposeful. She had spent days learning the station, understanding every detail, every weakness. Now she helped prepare humans for what might come. Ethan worked alongside her, giving orders, coordinating survivors, and teaching them strategies that had kept him alive for years. His calm presence inspired confidence. Lena had seen humans afraid before, but now she saw determination. They were ready to fight if necessary, but more importantly, they were ready to survive together. One morning, the alarm sounded. Small sensors had detected movement near a distant asteroid field. Lena checked the readings carefully. "It is not a patrol," she said. "It is a ship. Fast. Scanning." Ethan frowned. "The Council may have discovered us. Or worse, pirates. We must be ready." Lena nodded. She activated the station's stealth measures. Shields strengthened, communications scrambled, and decoy signals sent to confuse the scanner. "We will not hide forever," she said. "But we can delay them long enough to prepare." Hours passed. The ship approached slowly, scanning every system. The humans held their positions, tense but silent. Lena watched, calculating every possibility. The ship finally moved past the outpost, failing to detect their presence. Relief spread through the station. "That was close," Ethan said, exhaling slowly. "But not enough."
They will come again. Lena looked at him. Then we must be ready.
Humans survive because they learn, adapt, and protect each other. We will do the same. Over the next few days, Lena and Ethan led the humans in preparation. They repaired old ships, strengthened shields, and created secret escape routes to other hidden colonies. Lena taught them how to use the stars to navigate silently, how to read signals without leaving a trace, and how to work together as a single unit. During this time, Lena also learned more about the survivors. There was Claire, the young engineer who had first questioned her presence. She was clever, brave, and quick to act.
There was Cole, a former trader who had hidden humans across multiple systems. And there was Maria, a medic who had saved countless lives during the war.
Each human carried stories of loss and courage, and Lena listened with respect and admiration. One evening, Lena and Ethan walked to the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly around them, and the silence of space pressed close. "They are strong," Lena said quietly. "Humans, they survive against impossible odds."
Ethan nodded. And now they will need more than survival. They will need hope.
And guidance. Lena reached for his hand.
"Then we give it to them, together."
The next day, a small fleet appeared near the outpost. Ships moved in formation, scanning for hidden signals. The humans prepared quietly, ready to flee if necessary. Lena studied the fleet carefully. They were council ships, but lightly armed scouts, not a full fleet. It was a warning, not an attack. Ethan called the humans together. "We do not fight blindly," he said. "We survive, we adapt, and we protect each other. Lena knows how. Follow her guidance." Lena took command. She instructed humans to use the outpost decoys, to hide ships in asteroid shadows, and to reroute power to confuse sensors. They moved silently, swiftly, like shadows in the dark. Hours passed. The council fleet scanned and left, unable to detect the humans' presence. Relief spread, but Lena knew it was temporary. The galaxy would not forget. Humans were still marked for destruction. That night, Lena and Ethan walked through the station. Humans were quiet, resting after the tense day. Some spoke in whispers about the council, about the future, about revenge. Lena listened, her heart heavy. She knew that humans did not seek destruction, but they would fight if forced. "We must prepare them," Lena said to Ethan. "Not just to survive, but to endure. Humans have always endured, but now they must also teach the galaxy that they cannot be destroyed so easily." Ethan nodded. "And we will. Together."
Days turned into weeks.
Humans became more confident moving between colonies, sharing resources, and repairing damaged ships. Lena and Ethan trained them in communication, stealth, and strategy. Each lesson built trust, each action built strength. One evening, as artificial night fell, a message arrived. It was faint, almost lost and static. Lena decrypted it carefully. It was a human colony on the far side of the sector. They were still alive, but in danger. A pirate group had discovered their location and attacked. Lena and Ethan acted immediately. They prepared ships, calculated routes, and coordinated with the other hidden colonies. "We saved them," Lena said firmly. No human left behind. The journey was dangerous. Asteroids, pirate patrols, and unpredictable space hazards tested their skills. But humans moved with precision. Following Lena and Ethan's guidance, they reached the threatened colony just in time. The pirates were attacking, but the humans used stealth maneuvers, decoys, and coordinated strikes to drive them away. When the battle ended, the survivors cheered. Lena and Ethan stood together, watching the humans celebrate quietly. It was not a victory of destruction, but of endurance, courage, and cleverness. "That is why humans survive," Lena said softly. "Not because they are strongest, but because they care, protect, and adapt. They endure."
Ethan smiled, taking her hand. And now they know they are not alone.
Hope is alive. For the first time, Lena felt the weight of her journey lift. She had found Ethan. She had found the humans. And she had found purpose. The galaxy was dangerous. The council was powerful. But humans had something no force could destroy: their heart, their courage, and their will to survive. In the following weeks, Lena helped connect the hidden colonies. Humans moved with careful coordination, sharing information, resources, and strength. The galaxy began to notice faint signs of life where it had assumed none remained. Council agents grew uneasy, sensing resistance, but finding no easy target. Lena and Ethan worked tirelessly. They trained humans, repaired ships, and strengthened defenses. Each day they built not just survival, but hope, courage, and unity. At night, Lena often stood with Ethan on the observation deck. They watched the stars, silent, but together. "We have come far," Ethan said. "But the galaxy will not leave us in peace." Lena squeezed his hand. "Then we continue. Humans survive because they endure." And now they are ready. The signal that had brought Lena to Ethan still pulsed faintly, a reminder that hope had guided her across the stars. The galaxy had underestimated humans, underestimated love, and underestimated courage. Lena knew that one day the galaxy would learn that humans were not so easy to destroy. Together, Lena and Ethan prepared for what was next. They had survived, and now they would lead. Humans would not only endure, they would thrive. The first step had been reunion. The second step had been preparation. The third step, Lena knew, would be action. The galaxy would soon see that humans, when united and guided, were unstoppable. And Lena would be there, beside Ethan, beside humanity, every step of the way. The hidden human network had grown stronger. Lena and Ethan had worked tirelessly to connect colonies, repair ships, and train humans in survival and strategy. Each small victory gave them confidence, and each challenge reminded them of the dangers still waiting in the galaxy. One morning, Lena stood on the observation deck, watching a distant star flare. She felt the familiar pull of the universe, the quiet reminder that the galaxy was vast and full of threats. Humans had survived so far, but the Council would not remain idle forever. They would return. Ethan joined her, holding a small data pad. "Reports from the outer colonies," he said. "The Council has increased patrols. They are looking for signs of us. They will not stop until they think every human is gone." Lena nodded. "Then we show them they are wrong. Humans are alive, humans endure, and humans protect each other." Together, they moved through the station, checking preparations. Humans were ready. Shields were strengthened, communication lines encrypted, and escape routes hidden. The small fleet of repaired ships waited quietly in asteroid shadows, ready to act at a moment's notice. Suddenly, a warning light flashed. A fleet had appeared near a nearby colony. Council warships, large and heavily armed, moved with precision. Their sensors would detect any unprotected human settlement. Ethan's voice was calm, but firm. "This is it. We cannot run this time. We must defend them and survive. Lena, we need your guidance." Lena felt a surge of determination. She had traveled across the stars, faced danger, and reunited with Ethan. Now, humanity depended on her knowledge, strategy, and courage. "We will not fight like the Council," she said. "We will use what humans do best: adapt, protect, and endure. They will not expect us to survive. That is our strength." The humans followed her orders without hesitation. They split into groups, using hidden routes and decoy signals. Lena coordinated the defense from the central station, guiding ships and outposts with precise instructions. Humans moved silently, carefully, and with purpose. The Council fleet arrived, scanning for life. Sensors picked up faint traces, but they could not locate the main colonies. Lena used the asteroid fields, hidden routes, and deceptive signals to mislead them. Each movement was calculated, each action deliberate. Humans were not only surviving, they were winning by avoiding destruction. Ethan piloted one of the small ships, leading a diversion squad. Lena guided him from the station. Together, they created illusions, making it appear that humans were scattered, weak, and disorganized. The Council fleet moved cautiously, uncertain and frustrated. Hours passed in tense silence. Humans held their positions, relying on training, trust, and courage. Lena monitored every sensor, every signal, ready to act at the first sign of danger. Finally, the Council fleet withdrew, unable to locate or attack the hidden colonies. Relief swept through the humans. They had survived, not by fire or weapons, but by cleverness, unity, and heart. Ethan returned to the station, smiling faintly. "They underestimated us," he said. "They still do not understand humans." Lena nodded.
And they never will, until they learn the truth.
Humans survive because they endure, because they care for each other, and because they fight for hope, not just victory. That night, Lena walked through the station with Ethan. Humans were quiet, resting after the tension of the day. Some spoke softly about the Council, about the future, and about their place in the galaxy. Lena listened, feeling pride and hope. Humans had survived against impossible odds, and now they were stronger than ever. Ethan led her to the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly, a reminder of the vast universe around them. Lena felt small but strong. She had found Ethan, reunited with humans, and discovered a purpose beyond herself. "We have survived," Ethan said softly. "But now we build. We show the galaxy that humans are not just survivors. They are protectors, builders, and warriors of heart."
Lena smiled.
"And we do it together. Humanity has endured for centuries, through war, loss, and danger. Now we guide them, protect them, and ensure they thrive." Over the following weeks, Lena and Ethan worked with the human colonies to establish stronger communication, trade, and defense networks. Small fleets moved quietly between hidden systems, delivering supplies, sharing knowledge, and offering protection. Humans began to rebuild, not just for survival, but for life. One day, a message arrived from a distant colony. It was brief but powerful. Humans there had successfully defended their settlement against Council scouts, using tactics Lena and Ethan had taught them. The message carried pride, hope, and determination. Lena and Ethan shared the news with the station. Humans cheered quietly. They had survived again, and they had done so together. Lena took a moment to walk through the station, observing the humans. She saw determination in their eyes, courage in their actions, and hope in their hearts. They were no longer victims of the galaxy. They were survivors, leaders, and protectors. That evening, Lena and Ethan stood on the observation deck, watching a distant sun rise over an asteroid field. The light reflected off their faces, soft and warm. Lena felt tears welling in her eyes. "You are my proof," Ethan said quietly. "Proof that love can survive, and proof that hope never dies." Lena held his hand tightly. "And you are mine," she said. "Together we have found love, hope, and strength. Humanity will endure because of them."
And we will endure with them. The galaxy still held dangers, threats, and uncertainty.
The Council remained powerful, and the universe remained vast and unpredictable. But Lena and Ethan had shown humans their greatest strength: unity, courage, and heart. Humans would no longer be hunted in silence. They would rise, guided by hope and protected by love. Lena knew the journey was far from over, but she also knew they were ready. Humanity had endured the impossible, survived the galaxy's greatest threats, and now stood stronger than ever. As they watched the stars, Lena felt peace. She had found Ethan, reunited with humanity, and discovered her purpose. Love, courage, and hope had led her across the universe, and they would guide humans into the future. The signal that had brought Lena to Ethan still pulsed faintly, a reminder that the universe was vast, but not empty. Humans were alive, humans were strong, and humans were united. And Lena would be there, beside Ethan, beside humanity, every step of the way. For the first time in years, Lena felt truly home. The galaxy was still dangerous, but humans had survived worse. They had endured, and now they would thrive. And Lena knew one truth above all: love, hope, and courage were stronger than any weapon. They were the power that had kept humanity alive, and they were the power that would lead them forward forever. The stars stretched endlessly, quiet and eternal. Lena held Ethan's hand and smiled. Together they had found what the galaxy could not take away: each other and the enduring spirit of humanity. The future awaited, vast and uncertain, but they faced it together. Dravens had survived. Humans had endured. And now humanity would shine across the stars.